Did you know that the D.I.A. Was founded in 1885?
Really?
Opened in 1888. I knew it's been really a part of our community for a long time. Didn't realize it's been around for that long, but it is a jewel and a gem. But like so many other organizations, they're struggling right now due to COVID. To talk a little bit more, let's bring in Amanda Harrison. She's the Community Engagement Manager for Oakland County for the Detroit Institute of Arts. Thank you, Amanda, for being with us.
Thank you, Ronnie. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I know that the D.I.A. recently closed due to a surge in cases in COVID. Are you reopened yet?
We have reopened. Unfortunately, we did close for the week of April 5th briefly, but we have been able to safely reopen. We're asking guests to register in advance for a time slot on our website, dia.org. And then we are limiting capacity to 25% right now, but everything is open and we have several special exhibitions going on, including Detroit Style, Car Design of the Motor City.
So the special exhibits, do you have to pay additional for those?
No, those are all free to Tri-County residents. So if you're living in Oakland, Wayne, or Macomb County, it's actually your tax dollars that pay for those exhibitions.
Oh, that's great, because I know some you have to pay an additional fee when they get some of the special big exhibits that come in, so that's great to know. What prompted the closing last week?
Our leadership team has been watching closely the rise in cases in the in the state of Michigan, and we felt that for the safety of our members and the local residents, we wanted to temporarily close to try and mitigate those spikes and not contribute to them. We are following very rigorous protocols to keep our spaces clean and to keep capacity and numbers down as much as we can. But we also know that we're a public institution, we belong to the public, and we want to be as accessible as possible. So we reopened as soon as we felt it was safe.
So with that, Amanda, I always wonder about establishments such as yourself. Because of COVID, everyone is cleaning so much more. How do you maintain that level of cleanliness, but also not risk damaging the artwork that's in the museum?
Of course. Well, we have a conservation team that, is highly specialized, highly trained. They work with the art. We have different team members, actually, who have been redeployed to be, so everything can be touchless. No one's touching doors. They're monitoring the bathrooms to make sure that there's only one person in the restroom at a time. And because we have just one person opening that door or counting the number of people in a specific room at one time, it's really their presence that's helping to make sure that you have a touchless experience when you come to the museum, which is funny because it's a little bit opposite of the direction we were going before COVID, which was to be more of an interactive museum with hands-on experiences. So it's been a pivot, but our team has adjusted well.
So how is the numbers right now? Are people starting to come back to the D.I.A. now that it's reopened?
We have seen very positive numbers. We have been meeting some goals, but I think what we've really seen is an increase in our online activity. So even though we have special exhibitions going on right now, if you're not comfortable coming to the museum, we have everything. Our entire catalog of 67,000 pieces of artwork is available to you online, and you can browse those catalogs, and then also participate in some really special events. Last Thursday, we had an hour-long program on Detroit Style, that exhibition that's going on until June 27th, where we discuss the specific pieces of art in that exhibition. We actually have 12 vehicles, sedans and cars on display, and we have videos of how we got those vehicles into the D.I.A. and had a discussion surrounding that. That was a lot of fun, and it was all available online, and people could participate and ask their questions still, but really from the safety of their own home.
We're talking with Amanda Harrison. She's the Community Engagement Manager for the Detroit Institute of Arts. Amanda, are there any plans right now to try to bring back some of the special events that you used to do? You'd have the orchestra or some of those types of specialty events, or are those all on hold until further notice?
So right now, those have all migrated to a virtual platform. So we are still offering films, we're still offering live concerts and lecture series. Right now, our Detroit Film Theater, it remains one of our most popular features despite being closed. We have the 2021 Academy Award nominated short films available for viewing at home this year. Instead of coming to the theater, you can view those at home. And you'll be able to choose from a variety of topics, including documentaries and animated films, and they're at a very low cost to the viewers. And then the majority of what you pay to watch at home goes back to the DFT to support it, even while we are closed, to help preserve this historic theater.
It really is amazing. I know a lot of people locally, they typically will go as kind of a field trip, when you're in school, but then they forget to go back and take advantage of what's in our backyard, because we do know that, our tax dollars are supporting this entity. So if someone is coming for the first time, what can they expect?
Oh, first-time visitors are my favorite because the Detroit Institute of Arts is, as you said, Ronnie, in the beginning of this program, truly a gem in the community. I don't think people realize that we are ranked in the top 6 in terms of museums for North America. We have one of the most important collections in the state. We were home to the first Vincent van Gogh to enter a United States collection. We're home to Peter Bruegel's The Wedding Dance, which is one of only 2 Bruegel paintings in the United States. And then we also have Detroit industry murals, which are considered a national treasure. These were designed in the 1930s by one of the most famous muralists, Diego Rivera, and those are a real gem. If you walk into Rivera Court, you can feel the power and the history. It's a unique history being told within our museum that you can't find anywhere else.
Well, there was so much controversy around the D.I.A. throughout the bankruptcy, but it survived the bankruptcy unscathed. But recently, obviously, there's a lot going on. 7 board members recently walked out. What is going on behind the scenes at the museum?
Absolutely. Well, as a public institution, I think that it is very important for the public to be informed and to be as transparent as possible, and then to be held to a higher level of standard and scrutiny. So there have been concerns raised by employees and discussion among board members. And I'm not in those conversations, but what I can tell you is that our board is responding to criticisms and our staff is responding to criticisms to really meet the needs of our employees and our citizens. So we have implemented a couple of new procedures. We have previously reported that a new role was created, a board employee relations liaison. So now we have a specific person as an employee. If I have any concerns, I can take it to our new board employee relations liaison and address any concerns that I have or any other employee has with her specifically. And we also have a confidential hotline that's been established. So if there's an issue that needs to be discussed, we can make that concern known on that private hotline. So there are new things being addressed. We've also launched what's called the IDEA initiative. These are starting as workshops. We've contracted with an outside organization to help make sure that we're promoting inclusivity and diversity within our staff, and to make sure that everyone is heard and concerns are addressed appropriately. So we've all been participating in those workshops, and I think that it's refreshing to see such positive movement going on in response to some of these criticisms that have been made.
Well, because behind the scenes, it has to be stressful to go into work with all the drama playing out, but at the end of the day, you still have to serve the people that want to visit the institution.
I will say that for me, personally, it's an honor to be working at the D.I.A. I understand how important this institution is to not just Southeastern Michigan, but to the world. We're looked at. We have a piece on loan right now in London. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Jim Glessy's Artemisia. It's one of the most important works by this artist, and what I am really excited to get back to is talking about the work and talking about the collection and the public offerings that we have. I feel so fortunate that working at the D.I.A., because of our funding structure, because we are a publicly owned institution, there were no layoffs that were done. I still have a job, no layoffs happen, and we're able to help support artists during this very difficult time by having artists do artist demonstrations from home. So just recently we had Jennifer Sakarian, who's a printmaking artist, come in and do a demonstration for the audience on the artwork that she does and is known for. We recently had a concert. It was a tribute to jazz musician Fats Waller, done by Elvin Waddles. That was a live performance that we broadcast from our Crystal Gallery. That was really powerful and fun. We had a fun discussion around that. And it's so nice to be able to support artists who are suffering due to COVID, due to the shutdown, because we can't have live performances. We are still able to help these artists in different and unique ways, and we have the opportunity to do that through the D.I.A.
And with that, if I can ask just one last question about the leadership. I know that the museum did hire an attorney, a law firm, to come in and try to, be the outside eyes on the complaints that were coming out from staff members and former employees. Who paid for that attorney? Do you know?
That it would not be a question that I would be able to answer. That would be a decision made by our board of directors, and I'm not in those conversations.
So, and we just, one of the things is just, this is, it's tax dollars that support this. And so, dollars are so tough right now for so many organizations because, the fundraising efforts and so many of the events are having to be canceled. And I know a lot of people like to get married at the D.I.A. It is an incredible backdrop.
It is. It's a beautiful venue. I am appreciative of the initiatives that the D.I.A. leadership is taking, though, in terms of transparency, because we are a public institution, and I think having an extra set of eyes, including through a law firm, to evaluate and make sure that we are doing things in the public's best interest is very important. So I'm appreciative of the work that's being done, and hopefully we get back to weddings very soon, because it is such a beautiful venue to be in.
So with that, what are the hours right now that you're reopened?
So we are operating unlimited hours. We're only at 25% capacity. So we're asking people to make a reservation in advance. You can do that on our website, dia.org. And we have limited our hours because we want extra time for cleaning to meet those cleaning protocols. So it is changing based on activity. So I'd encourage you to go to our website for updated information. It updates constantly, but right now we are closed Monday and Tuesday. We're open Wednesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. One thing I do appreciate, though, about our leadership at the D.I.A. is that they are prepared to close if they feel like it's unsafe.
Are you still hosting field trips right now?
We have field trip access available online in a virtual space. Our gallery teachers are really like great assets, I think, to our public school system. They develop lesson plans for teachers to use in the classroom and used to offer different programs, obviously in person at the D.I.A. that connects children with the artwork in our collection in really unique and interesting ways. Just to give you an example, we had an activity about Think Like an Engineer. It's a STEAM program that we had in relationship to our exhibition, Detroit Style. We made the lesson plan, the presentation, all the graphics, questions, sample questions, all available as teacher resources online. This is something that we would have just offered through the museum, but now any teacher can go to our website and access that information. And they're essentially lesson plans available to teachers or parents at home who need additional activities or help for their students.
So do you anticipate programs such as that will stick around post-pandemic if we ever get there?
I think that we are all very eager to have children come back to the museum. One thing I do see sticking around is the broadcasting of our senior programming. We're reaching new audiences that we never would have reached before because we're now broadcasting our lectures and our concerts online. We're meeting a need of a population, maybe homebound seniors, maybe people with mobility issues, people who can't access the museum now have access to these programs because they're being broadcast, and I could see that staying.
That's great. Amanda Harrison with us here on the MegaCast, Community Engagement Manager for the Detroit Institute of Arts. Anything, Amanda, maybe I didn't ask that you want to add before we say goodbye?
Well, Ronnie, I really appreciate you having me today and for the time. I'd encourage your listeners to please see what's available to you online. And we're still out in the community, too. So we have several projects going on in your local community. And Beverly Hills is going to have our Inside Out project, which brings reproductions of D.I.A. artwork into the community. We also have two murals starting this fall. One is going in Rochester and another in Berkeley. And in the city, I know you had Mayor Barnett on earlier today in the city of Rochester Hills. He talked a little bit about Innovation Hills. Inside Out is going into that park as well as along the Auburn Road corridor that I'm sure he talked about. So we have lots of, actually 23 locations for Inside Out in Oakland County this year, and those two murals that we're really excited about. So if you're not interested in online activities, if you're not feeling safe visiting the museum right now, we still want to come to you and meet you in your community.
It would be a great, kind of challenge for parents and their kids to go find all 23.
Yes.
That'll keep them busy. Well, Amanda, thank you again for being with us.
Thank you, Ronnie. You have a great day.